Has it ever happened to you where you know something in your head, like you've resolved something intellectually, but it takes a while for your heart to catch up? Well, that's exactly what happened with me when it comes to the topic of Mary and also the Eucharist. I recently went to this conference over at Franciscan University in Steubenville, and something very special happened to me that completely changed my heart forever. And today, I'm going to share that personal story with you. I hope it blesses you just as much as it did for me. Welcome back to Lighten Up. Welcome back to the Lighten Up Podcast. I am your host, Hannah Cruz. And since we are in the beginning of a new school year, I have some homework for you to do. Yes, homework. So don't worry, it's not very difficult homework. It's pretty easy. Are you ready for it? Okay, here's your homework. Click subscribe to this channel. Yes, that's it. Just click subscribe, whether you're watching on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or on Spotify. If you do that, I'll give you 100, a gold star. You'll be the line leader. But if you feel like being even more of a student, I encourage you to join our book club. Yeah, we've got a great book club. Right now, we're reading that book, Stunned by Scripture, How the Bible Made Me Catholic by Dr. John Bergsma. It is so good. And we go live every single Friday and discuss each chapter together. So you can join us on Patreon, or now you can also join us through the YouTube memberships tab. So definitely do that. We'll be streaming the book club on both places. So exactly the same thing, Patreon and YouTube membership. So become a book club member on Patreon or right here on YouTube. The links are in the description. But gosh, let me get right to it. Sometimes I feel like this podcast is kind of like my personal diary, taking you along this journey towards original Christianity with me in real time. And I do that on purpose because I want this to be as authentic and as relatable as possible for you. Because let's be honest, this journey can be lonely, especially if you come from a Protestant or evangelical background like me, and you start asking all these hard questions that can't be answered in a post-1500s Reformation world. It's just not there. But when you do find those answers in the early church, and even in Catholicism, which is crazy, there's just a whole new level of persecution that you got to prepare yourself for. So I get it. I understand how many of you might feel. So I want this show to be a place where you feel like you can just know that you're not so alone, because I'm right there with you, okay? And it's okay to discover those truths that have been suppressed, or the truth that has just been flat out misunderstood for now going on 500 years. That's exactly what we're here for right here on Lighten Up. So because I know that I am going against the grain, and because I know that I am stepping out into pretty unfamiliar territory, you can also imagine my delight whenever I was invited to attend the Defend the Faith conference over at Franciscan University in Steubenville, Ohio. I was so excited. My friend Kristen from A Sacred Faith, we're going to put her tag right here, but she is so cool. I started following her on Instagram a long time ago, but she asked me if I wanted to accompany her on this trip, and I knew deep down that I was supposed to go. I wanted to be surrounded by other Catholics that love Jesus, love learning more about their 2,000-year-old faith. I wanted to sit and learn from people like Scott and Kimberly Hahn, and meet other creators and former Protestants like Keith Nestor. I mean, I wanted to attend Mass led by Father Dave Pavanka. I just could not wait to go. And the fact that I was even asked by Kristen to go with her was so sweet and such a blessing. But before I get into my experience at Franciscan and tell you exactly what happened with me that changed my heart in a lot of ways, let's rewind to a few months ago. For a little bit of context for you, a huge part of my personal job and what I've done for many years is I've traveled and I've spoken at women's conferences. I'll go and I'll share my testimony. I show women how to find the joy of the Lord despite their circumstances. But since I've been posting about my conversion journey towards the Catholic Church, all of that has stopped. And I knew that it would. I knew that that was a possibility, but I don't know, something that I was also still okay with. I was okay with sacrificing that because I just knew, guys, I knew deep down in my soul that I was doing the right thing. and that the Lord would somehow, some way just meet me in that place despite everything that I had to lose. So one of the last speaking events that I was scheduled for was a very large non-denominational church. And before I got on stage, we had this time of praise and worship. And one of the songs that they were playing was that song, you know that song, You're Worthy of It All? It goes, you're worthy of it all, you're worthy of it all. I know you've heard it. If you've ever listened to Christian radio, I'm sure that you've heard that song. But there's a part of that song that goes like this. It says, day and night, night and day, let incense arise. And you sing it over and over and over. It's talking about incense arising into heaven. And I remembered singing that song and looking around. And I was just thinking, where's the incense? Where is it? And at this point, think about this. My family and I had already been going to Mass regularly, faithfully for months. And every single Sunday at Mass, we would worship Jesus and we would experience the smell of incense. And I just remember calling my husband after the conference was over and telling him about that song. And I was just like, babe, it's not there. The incense isn't there, but it is there over at the Catholic Church down the street from us. And all of these, it's crazy, all of these contemporary worship songs that we sing about incense, about the saints, even about Mary sometimes, the mother of Jesus. And yet it's just not there. And I really remember that making a really big impact on me a few months ago. So now let's fast forward to the Defend the Faith conference over in Steubenville. This was just recently that I went to this. And I'll tell you one thing, I did not expect the atmosphere that I was about to walk into. Did not expect it. Obviously, the campus at Franciscan is just so beautiful, so sacred, so reverent, just what you would expect in a Catholic university. So many little things about it that just blew me away. But I didn't expect certain aspects of it to make me feel right at home. As someone who is not a confirmed Catholic yet, I have major Pentecostal, non-denominational roots. But every day at the general session at this conference and also during the Mass, they had a praise band. Yeah, like an actual praise band that sang contemporary Christian songs. And I was like, you're allowed to do that? Like, it's not just Gregorian chants or like the organ playing the whole time. No, it was like drums and violins and guitars and people harmonizing while they were singing. I was just like, this is cool. I can get down with this. This is my kind of style. Now, if you're more of a traditional Catholic, don't go in the comments and say, that's not right. They need to stick to more liturgical instruments. Like, just hold your horses, guys. Hear me out, okay? You've got to understand that for somebody like me, that's exactly what I needed. The marriage between the beauty of how the earliest Christians worshiped, but also the contemporary worship style and the praise band that I was experiencing, that spoke to me. That really made an impact on me. It made me feel like I was at home. It was a good thing. So relax. Don't freak out. But anyway, even though there were so many positive things that were happening, guys, let me just tell you, the entire weekend that I was there, I was getting attacked in my mind. And every once in a while, little seeds of doubt would kind of slither in and be like, are you sure this stuff is real? Are you sure you're doing the right thing? Are you sure that you don't want to just go the easier route and just stay an evangelical? I mean, guys, it was constant. And I dealt with it privately. I didn't share this with Kristen. I didn't share this with anybody else while I was there. But my prayer the whole time was, okay, Lord, you've got to make yourself really clear to me. You've got to reveal yourself in ways that are so obvious. I mean, show me what to do. Make me also so uncomfortable that if any of this stuff is not of you, then I know it and I feel it because you're just implanting that discomfort into me because God, I'm there intellectually. I've read and researched and discerned and dissected all of this stuff in such exhausting, excruciating detail for almost a year in a very objective and biased way, listening to all of the debates, looking at all of the articles in Protestant circles and also the Catholic circles, and also seeing, what the theologians were saying and looking at all the history. Guys, I wish that you understood the amount of hours and research that I have put myself through in trying to figure all of this stuff out. And so I was just like, Lord, even though I'm there in my head, I am entrusting you this weekend with my heart. I'm just going to give my heart to you to do whatever you please with it. So that was my prayer. And the weekend continued, and it was just awesome. Like, the whole weekend was awesome. It was an amazing experience after amazing experience. And Kristen and I grew so close as we roomed together and dined together and worshiped together and cried together. Meeting Scott Hahn was such a blessing. And I was in a puddle of uncontrollable tears whenever I met his wife, Kimberly Hahn. And even though she was so gracious, she was so sweet, I'm sure she thought I was just absolutely insane. Like, this girl can't get it together. And then Keith Nestor, oh gosh, y'all saw Keith in the episode that we did with him, but he just poured into me with the most encouraging words, just like a father would. But it was the last night that changed everything for me. And I'll tell you what happened right after a quick break. I had a lot of questions when I started this journey, and sometimes it felt a little overwhelming to find the answer. All I wanted was the truth, not someone's opinion, just the cold, hard truth. And thankfully, that is where Truthly steps in. It's kind of like the Chat GPT for all of your original Christianity questions. And you won't get someone's opinion. You'll just get the truth. If you're curious about the Catholic faith, or if you're already Catholic and you want to just go deeper, this app is for you. Truthly will answer any question you have on doctrine, scripture, moral theology, and they'll give you tested and approved Christian teachings that have been preserved for 2,000 years. But not just that, guys. You can ask Truthly about good movies to watch or things that are appropriate for your kids, so what's in the news, all the things. Their mission is simple: to help as many people as possible to know the truth about Jesus and his church, and to make it as easy as possible to share the truth with others. Don't miss out. Try Truthly today. Your first week is free. And I also want to remind you about Christian Healthcare Ministries, which is a health insurance alternative at half the cost. My entire married life, this is what we have used. Anytime we had a medical incident, CHM assisted us in those eligible healthcare costs. They're very different, though, from traditional insurance. They don't just tell you when to join or what to pay or where to go for your healthcare like other insurance companies. They leave all that up to you. So you can pick any certified doctor, surgeon, or hospital that you want for your eligible care. How it works is, as a ministry, CHM allows you to share the burden of eligible medical bills with other Christians. And so you can pick a monthly membership of your choice. And when you're in need, they will step in to assist you with your eligible medical bills too. So you can enroll, switch programs, or leave at any time. Their programs are very flexible and extremely affordable. That's like the best part about this whole thing. So I encourage you to get an info pack today by visiting chministries.org/Hannah. That's chministries.org/Hannah. And the info pack, guys, completely free. Now, back to the show. So on the very last night of the conference, everyone gathered together to worship one last time. But this time, it was called a Eucharistic Adoration procession. I didn't know what that was. I had no idea what that was. I'd been to like an adoration chapel before, and basically you go and then you sit in silence and worship the presence of Jesus within the Eucharist. And the Eucharist is usually sitting there in that adoration chapel within the tabernacle, or sometimes it's in like a really beautiful gold monstrance in this chapel. So that's what I was used to, but I've never experienced an adoration procession before. I had no idea what that was, and I didn't know what to expect either. So we're all sitting there, and Father Dave Pavanka, who, yes, he's a priest, but he's also the president of Franciscan University, he's holding this massive gold monstrance, and inside of that monstrance is the Eucharist. And he starts to walk around the entire room of like 800 people. And you've got these men that are following behind him, and they're going before him, and they're waving incense. Thick. It is just filling the entire room. And you also had that praise band playing the music in the background and all these wonderful songs that I knew and I grew up with. It was beautiful. It was unlike anything that I had ever seen. But I remember Father Dave stood right in front of me, holding the Eucharist in the monstrance. And even though, again, I was intellectually there, I started praying again, Lord, looking at the Eucharist, I said, Lord, is that really you? Are you really present right in front of me, body, blood, soul, and divinity within the Eucharist that I'm looking at, or is that just a cracker? I really need you to show me before I leave this place. Like before I leave here this weekend, I really need you to make this clear. Because look, Lord, you promised me that if I ask, it'll be given to me. You promised me that if I seek, then I will find you. And so please just show me before I leave. Is this really you? And then the wildest thing happened. And again, this is a private revelation. You don't have to take my word for this if you don't want to. This is just what happened to me. And I'm being very open and honest with you about what happened. Suddenly, my eyes diverted from looking at the Eucharist, and I'm praying this prayer. And my eyes diverted to the left a little bit to this very large framed photo of Mary. And I'm sure you've seen this photo of her. They call it like Our Lady of Guadalupe. And guys, Mary stuff has always been very, very, very hard for Protestants. It's always been hard for me. So we've always been taught that Catholics worship Mary, or that they put way too much emphasis on her. So to compensate for that, us in the Protestant world and evangelical world, we pretty much avoid talking about Mary altogether. But guys, when I looked at that photo and I looked at her, I can't even describe it to you other than it's almost like for the very first time, I felt what Jesus felt towards her, how he felt about his mama. I saw her as my mother. It's like he let me see her through his eyes. And then I remembered, like, one of the very last things that Jesus said on the cross whenever he spoke to John, he's literally about to die. And he tells John, "Behold your mother." And it's like I was beholding her in that way too. And guys, this overwhelming sense of peace just flooded over me, as if she was just looking at me and like a mama would and saying like, "Honey, it's okay. Don't worry, honey. It's okay." Like a mother loves her children, and a mother that should be not worshiped, but honored, just as the Bible says. And the peace that I felt was so noteworthy to me, and it was so powerful that I just cried and cried. And I was just like, okay, that's cool. That's cool, Lord. Okay. But still, is that really you? Still had these questions. So the priest walks around the room again, and I'm still praying. I'm still asking the Lord to continue to make things super clear to me. And for a second time, Father Dave comes back around and stands right in front of me. And guys, all of a sudden, this is just, I love when the Lord does this stuff, but all of a sudden, the praise band starts playing a new song, and they started singing, "Day and night, night and day, let..." I'm going to cry. Stop. "Let incense arise." And I fell on my face and I just wept. It was almost like God was just saying to me, like, how much clearer do I need to make this for you? And it was that moment, that night, that my heart finally caught up with my intellect. That's the day that he connected all of the dots, put together every single puzzle piece, gave me every single answer that I wanted to know and that I was longing for, and just making it so clear. This is the truth. And despite the suffering, despite the challenges, despite everything that I knew that I had to lose in the process, I just knew I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing the right thing. It's just an experience that I can't deny. It's an experience that, sure, it's a private revelation. You can take it or leave it. I don't even really care at this point, but I have a responsibility to share with you guys what the Lord is doing in my life. I'm seeing things happen that are so out of the ordinary in the most biblical, beautiful, awesome way. Things that are happening within my life and my heart and my character that are so exciting. And all it's doing is just bringing me closer to Jesus. All that experience that I had with Mary, all that did was bring me closer to her son. closer to the one that, sure, she bore. She's the mother of God. She bore the Son of God. But it just brought me closer to him. Made me want more of him, more and more and more. And I cannot just toss that out as coincidence. I can't just toss that out as just like, oh, I'm making this up in my head. I can't. It's too powerful for me to have experienced. And it's interesting because it kind of made me realize, like, you think about a family on earth, the nuclear family, you've got a father, you got a mother, and you got your siblings. That's just the nuclear family. God set it up that way for us here on earth. Why in the world would he not have it that way as a mirror, a nuclear family for us in the spiritual world? Why would we not have that example in heaven? Of course we do. Of course we do. So to see all of these things with different eyes, with new eyes, with eyes that are willing to just listen and try to understand and not just dismiss because of everything that I've been told about Catholics before, or just having an open heart about these things is necessary. And I think it's also necessary for us to be unified more as Christians if we try to understand each other and if we try to listen to understand without just listening to reply. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing how Jesus initially set all this up. And I think it is our responsibility to try to figure out what that was and to dig deeper into the roots of the Christian faith that we love so much. So yeah, that's what I have for you today. I debated on even sharing this story. I had to talk to multiple priests about this just to kind of see what they said about it, and all of them were blessed. It's something that I didn't even know if ever I was going to share, but I'm sharing publicly what happened. And it's really cool. And it's also really cool connecting with you guys and seeing that a lot of you guys are having similar struggles or going through similar things in the questions that you have, and maybe even the persecution that you receive in asking those questions and going through a process like this. But just know, we get it. We get it here on the Lighten Up Podcast. We are here for you guys. We are here to encourage you. We're here to lead you closer to Jesus and also closer to the truth. And just know that even if you've got stuff figured out kind of in your head, but it's like your heart is like just not connecting and it's not getting there, guys, I encourage you to do what I did, which is to take your heart and just give it up to Jesus. Just say, Lord, here's my heart. Do with it whatever you please. I am willing, I am longing, I am open, and I desire nothing more than to know you in deeper ways every single day, all the days of my life. So if you like this video, sorry for crying. Again, I can definitely break down sometimes just thinking about the Lord and what he does. But if you like this video, I encourage you to share it. I encourage you to share it with somebody that you think they would touch. I encourage you to, just let other people know that they're not alone in asking these questions. And also just, wanting people to know that sharing our testimony is important. We overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of our testimony. And I think that there is a level of healing that comes with that. So please feel free to share this with a friend. Also subscribe. Guys, that was your homework. Did you do it? Or are you going to get a 0? Go ahead and subscribe to this channel and look forward to so many more episodes that we have upcoming. But if you also want to join our book club, we would love to have you on Patreon or on YouTube memberships. Again, the book is Stunned by Scripture by Dr. John Bergsma, How the Bible Made Him Catholic. Again, this is good for us Protestants, evangelicals that are all about the Bible. This is a good one for us to go through together. So I encourage you to join us there. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching the Lighten Up Podcast and for putting up with my tears today. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time.